What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another video. Alright guys, we're going to be talking about a game, one of the big threes that is coming out this year, specifically July 4th, and it is a massive one. It's one that I've been totally interested in watching the entire time of its existence, and it is now going through the second phase of the closed beta testing and coming out July 4th, as I mentioned, globally to all platforms. So first off, shout out to Gotcha Gamer for putting this together. Now, the game I'm referring to is Zenless Zone Zero. You guys see it on the screen right now. Gotcha Gamer has an incredible review. I've been watching all of his reviews from the critical to this one now. This is the latest one, and he's talking about how the game has improved from its early launch time in the original closed beta testing all the way now to almost its release. So we're going to watch this because there was a lot of controversy behind a lot of the features in this game, a lot of the different game modes, and they've done a lot of revamping here to make it a much more cohesive and better experience for the gamer. So without further ado, guys, go check out Gotcha Gamer's video. I'll put it in the description. Go show him some love, like, subscribe, do all that jazz. He's doing an incredible job covering this game. And not to mention, as he mentions in this video, actually, he does get actual sponsorship from Hoyo in this, and Hoyo specifically, who actually are the creators of this game. So without further ado, guys, July 4th, let's check it out. Let's see what he has to say, and let's hopefully they've done enough improvements to make this game worthwhile. Just so everyone's aware as well, before we start, this game has an insane amount of pre-registration, so go check out, I'll put in the description the site to go pre-register now. It is coming out for Epic Games Store, mobile as well as PC, and I believe console as well too. So a lot of different platforms can play this game. So let's go check this video out.
So Hoyoverse recently announced that Zenless Zone Zero is finally going open beta worldwide on July 4th. And as someone who has participated in all of the closed betas before, I have some thoughts about this, because it's been quite the roller coaster ride following the journey of ZZZ. As you already know, the game received a fair share of criticisms, which I will be addressing today, and tell you what has changed, and more importantly, what you can expect from this game. Now, funnily enough, this video is actually sponsored by Hoyo, and I think it's very cool of them to do this, since I have voiced my opinion and feedback about the game twice already, and I definitely didn't hold back when it came to dishing out harsh truth. So hey.
So real quick on that topic, I respect him for this because he did accept the sponsorship, and I respect Hoyo for doing this as well too, because I think that's really big of them to look at a content creator who has trashed their game, rightfully so, because they really did need to fix a lot of these problems, and now are sponsoring him. So check that out. Check out his past videos if you really don't know what the problems are, but he does address them here, and also the solutions that are offered. So again, really good coverage on this.
They thought, why not make this into a trilogy and help support me along the way? They're totally fine with me just doing my own thing and let you guys know what's up about ZZZ. Now, in this video, I will be covering two major topics: the differences between the previous and latest closed beta versions, and my thoughts about the game's future. And starting with the first topic, I am honestly shocked how much the game has changed since the last closed beta test, and how different it feels right now. For example, if we take a look at the most criticized aspect about the game, the TV mode.
Yeah, so this was literally every content creator, every player who played this game. This is the biggest criticism they had, and that is the TV mode, how long it took, and how redundant it felt. So this is actually a really big change. So check this out.
It's no secret, even as someone who loves puzzle games, it was too much and too slow back in CBT1 and CBT2. However, now there's a fast forward button you can press to accelerate everything in TV mode, which is really nice. But then this mode by itself won't appear everywhere, and now it's just limited to story, exploration missions, as well as Hollow Zero mode. And even then, a lot of the TV mode has been cut out, so it appears less and has shorter puzzles. What this means is that basically now rally and combat commissions will contain only, well, combat, and they're super fun, especially rally commissions. It has completely changed as a game mode. Previously, you had to farm it constantly for these materials to obtain disc drives, which are like artifacts, and the first few times it was exciting. However, that 20th time where I needed to grind a long rally commission became a chore. So now it's a one-time dungeon-like instance which contains secrets, boss fights, and pure combat. Also,
and that's huge. Like, the last thing we want to do is be stuck. Sorry guys, really weird timing. Want to be stuck like farming all day on these things. Like, I'm glad they've limited to one dungeon now that does everything, and that's honestly the ideal thing to do, because gamers, we play multiple games at the same time. With Gotcha games specifically, we don't have that much time to spend doing hours and hours of farming. So this is a really big change. This is all quality of life changes that I want to see. So I'll talk to you guys about my status on this game and what I plan to do with it. So we'll talk about that at the end, okay?
After completing the one-time rally commission from the main story, a randomly selected scenario from unlocked rotation scenarios will cycle weekly, which is great. But speaking of combat, a couple of big changes have been made to it, the most prominent one being that characters now belong to one of the roles: attack, stun, anomaly, support, and defense. I think it's safe to say that previously, it was hard to pinpoint what team you might want to build exactly, since the roles weren't defined clearly, and at least in my opinion, adding these roles will help to define the characters quite easily. Also, the W engine equipment, which are basically the weapons, now follow the same restrictions as character's path in Honkai Star Rail, meaning you can only activate the passive effect of the weapon if it matches the character's role. Now, the other big change to combat are these cute bang boos. Previously, they kinda just tagged along and did some effect and buffing behind the scenes, but now, when you trigger a chain attack, you can actually switch to a bang boo, and boy is it fun to do this because the animations are just so cute and they actually feel really useful in combat. Also, you still have a choice to ignore the bang boo and just chain attack with the agent instead, and there's a limited amount of times you can trigger the bang boo attack in a single chain. Basically, what I'm
So the Bang Boo are like cute little things they had originally. They weren't really doing much. And this, now that the fact that they're able to be brought into the combat, puts a whole different layer of combat. Now it's the agents and the Bang Boos that can do stuff. So it's actually really cool because now we can use those as other attack forms, which again puts a different layer of complexity to the combat system, which is already a pretty damn good system as it is. So I have had a chance to check out the closed beta test on someone's account, which was incredible. So this is definitely a game, if you are into action RPG, that is going to definitely pique your interest, especially the cyberpunk universe. It's such a cool variation from the usual medieval fantasy or the fantasy universe that we're so used to. So that's a cool feature they added. I'm glad they're adding more layers to the combat system.
trying to say is that they do not overstay their welcome in combat. But let's talk about the story mode. My biggest gripe about it was that you needed to spend stamina in order to progress it, which was very weird since Hoyo got rid of this convention both with Genshin and HSR. Well, surprise surprise, you no longer need to spend the stamina on story missions, and if that's not enough,
that is huge. That was actually a big issue for me because I noticed how little actually you can actually play story mode in advance. So this is, thank God, because that is so archaic now. Story modes should be allowed progression at any time. That's up to the player to go as far as they want. So this is a massive good change, guys. That's a big W.
It went from 180 to 240 stamina, which is always nice for people who have busy lives and don't log in that often. On the same note, believe it or not, but co-op has actually been added into the game. Unfortunately, I do not have any footage to show it to you as I didn't get to try it out, but from what I heard, you can challenge the weekly bosses either via matchmaking or with your friends, so hey, there's a social aspect of the game. Oh, and by the way, some of the footage I'm using here is provided by I Win to Lose Gaming, so huge thanks to him for helping me out. Now, let's talk about the difficulty and the endgame. In my previous video, I said that the game is very easy until you start doing the Hollow Zero mode. Well, the developers have now added a casual and challenge difficulty modes, which is pretty cool, but from my own experience and others, the challenge mode isn't that, well, challenging, but it does scale with your level. So if you go off and grind some side missions and come back in challenge difficulty mode, it should scale appropriately. And then
honestly, believe it or not, even though the challenge mode is not that challenging, it will be challenging for a lot of players who play on different platforms, right? If you look at a PC gamer versus a mobile gamer, someone who uses a keyboard and a mouse and a controller versus somebody who uses a touchscreen, even though the challenge mode might not be difficult for a PC player, for example, you'll see the challenge mode be a lot more difficult for a touchscreen mobile player, especially with optimization issues, graphical issues, FPS, whatever. Like, there's a lot of reasons why these, so good for them for doing that, because I think that will actually help a lot of players be able to grind a little easier. So I think that's a big W either way.
And man oh man, did the endgame receive massive changes. I already liked Hollow Zero mode a lot back in CBT 2, but this one is of a different breed now. In a nutshell, now there's a lot of unique biomes you can go through, each one offering the hardest difficulty, and you can also collect these license points that can be exchanged for upgrades such as attack boost, which will be active only in Hollow Zero. I mean, yeah, there are some similarities to Simulated Universe from HSR, but it's essentially an arcade roguelike mode where you pick up really cool cool modifiers called Rezonia, and they can completely change your characters or even the team's build. I swear to you, challenging that pink boss on the hardest modified difficulty is still something I remember fondly. Now, another endgame mode called Shiyu Defense has also been added into the game. Here, it's more or less the same as Spiral Abyss or Memory of Chaos. You pick a team, and within time limit, you have to beat the enemies in a stage. Later on, you also need to start using 2 teams, so basically you'll want to invest into 6 characters to clear this mode. Honestly, I like this type of challenge myself because here you get to test the true potential and limits of the character, and Shiyu Defense will be my go-to place to theorycraft.
Yeah, so this is very similar to Tower Adversity and Wuthering Waves and other game modes and other places, right, where you have multiple teams that need to do separate things. This is, in fact, the place to theorycraft, so I'm glad people are using this. So this is one of those games that I will be for sure theorycrafting on. Wuthering Waves, I didn't have that much time. I didn't get a chance to jump in with heavy, because SLA was just popping off like crazy, and that's still the main game on the channel. But right now, with this coming out, obviously I'm going to try to balance it a little bit better than I did with Wuthering Waves and try to jump on this a little bit harder and hopefully get you guys some really good theory crafting and proper team setups and team building and obviously some data as well too while I play this. So I'm very excited for this. This looks like exactly what I need in terms of the kind of game modes and less exploration and more combat for me personally as a player.
Honestly, this current version of the game feels almost unrecognizable from CBT2. I mean, the crazy high-quality animations, the fluid combat, and the city all feel about the same, but a lot of the criticisms I had have been addressed, which I'm pretty happy about. However, we also gotta talk about the banners. And I think the most important one here would be the Bang Boo banner, because in HSR and Genshin, there's essentially 3 banner types: Limited, Weapon, and Standard. Well, in Zenless Zone 0, there's a 4th banner type, and that is where you get the Bang Boos. You see, previously, these little guys would spook you in any of the summons, and essentially they would dilute the pool of rewards you can pull from. But now, they won't show up in any of the banners, except their very own little cute and cozy banner. Now, you might think, great, now I need to spend my precious premium currency on another banner. Well, here's the thing. You actually cannot buy Bang Boo banners. The only way to obtain them is by doing various activities in the game,
That's amazing. No more dilution. That's incredible. So now you just get to pull for what you need. That's actually a big W.
In other words, this is a purely free-to-play banner. Well, aside from the fact you can obtain a total of 5 pulls from the Battle Pass paid tier, but it's essentially a drop in the bucket compared to tons of ways you can get them from places like Hollow Zero, events, rally commissions, and so on. Also, there's now an S-rank character selector after you do 300 pulls on a standard banner, which is pretty good, and just like the last time, the beginner banner is still available to pull from for that quick and easy S-rank character. All in all, a ton of changes have been made to this latest version of the game, and I think it's safe to say that Hoyo has taken the feedback pretty seriously here, and to be honest, there's like half the stuff I just told you about. There's also various quality of life changes that were made to city exploration, optimizations for combat, and even a cool new character was added in. To tell you the truth, I had a soft spot for ZZZ ever since the first closed beta test, and I'm happy to see it in such a state, but this also made me wonder what else we could expect from this game when it launches. For example, I loved exploring the cozy 6th Street map. It had amazing NPCs and environment design, and I always want more of that. So when I saw on Twitter that Hoyo revealed this new shopping district map called Lumina Square, I got very excited about an actual big city life we could potentially get to explore. In fact, this got me thinking. There's a scene in the latest beta test where you can even see a subway map in 6th Street, so perhaps there will be a transportation system to get to Lumina Square, which could mean that the small maps we get to experience in Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 could be easily expanded upon with a transportation system that could take you, well, literally anywhere. Also, seeing how the new character is named Zhu Yuan, hopefully I pronounced her name correctly, it's possible we're gonna see yet another Chinese-style character, map, or region, and I'm totally down for this. Liyue is like my top 3 regions of all time in Genshin. But yeah, I'm pretty hyped about Zenless Zone 0. It's been a pretty interesting journey, not gonna lie. I was there since the beginning, and I'm pretty optimistic about the game's future. I mean, at the end of the day, this game is drop-dead gorgeous, the animations are out of this world, the combat feels very crisp, and it's a free game. So I recommend you pre-register to Zenless Zone 0 by using my link in the description or pinned comment. Zenless Zone 0 will be launching on PC, mobile, and PS5 day 1, which is going to be July 4th, the official launch date. And I know for a fact I'm gonna turn into a couch potato and play it on PS5 because, yeah, the controller actually feels insanely good. And that's how I played all the betas on my PC. Oh yeah, and the game already has bypassed 30 million pre-registrations. So make sure to use my link and unlock global pre-registration reward milestones. Cause, you know, gotta have some of these sweet rewards when starting a new game. Anyway, hope you found this video entertaining, and as always, make sure to press the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.
Alright guys, so there's a lot to take in. Overall, very positive news and a very big name coming down July 4th. Now, all three platforms, mobile, PS5, PC, that's huge because PS5 is one of those things that a lot of people want these games to come out on, and the fact that it's coming out on PS5 right away on launch is a massive W for these guys. Go pre-register. Shout out to Gotcha Gamer again for putting this together. I will be putting the description of the link below. Again, go like, subscribe, check out his channel, and at the same time, remember, this game comes out July 4th. Now, my status on this is most likely going to be, I'm going to try to do a pay-to-win account and free-to-play account. I'll probably do both. Okay, because I am very interested in this game. Now, the city exploration part is not going to be as open world as, for example, Wuthering Waves, which is actually a good thing for me personally, because I find Wuthering Waves was huge and it took a lot of my time away from just echo farming. So I'm hoping I don't have that same problem here, because that is something that kills me in regards to my actual real life status. So I will be doing free to play and pay to win on this game, and we're going to be doing it pretty big. So definitely check it out. So again, Zenless Zone Zero gameplay is better now. Check out Gotcha Gamer's specific video. I'll put it in the description as well. Zenless Zone Zero comes out July 4th, guys. So I hope to see you there. I'll be having a Discord channel for this as well too when it comes out. So make sure you join the Discord and jump on and start playing with friends. The fact that it has co-op is even better, making it a friendly game for all to try out with friends or random people. Alright guys, this is Payne. Thank you for watching again. Go check out his channel, subscribe, do all that fun jazz, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.